Greetings from the past, my fellow time travelers, and welcome back to another episode of The Ladder. My name is Ty, and we're about to see what Zack has to say.
What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zack.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
Oh, thank God. There's no face at all. Only a poor imagination of a puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise.
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. For once, night ain't for another week.
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have time. I could still come back. Do my own thing, do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. Rose. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it's already explaining everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxborn streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that
I'm
regard.
stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
Oh. When she has finally ran out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumble plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead and...
Anyway, I'll leave it to you.
What? Classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. Oh, journal update. Let's see. A day after the open house, the Wrights were seen securing the mansion's purchase at Briar Realty Luxburn's office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, Isabella Santos treated her friends to lunch. Oh, nice. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. The sky isn't cloudless, look up there. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something, sorry. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usually cloudy weather back. For all the grips about the unpredictable weather though, the streets of Luxborn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and in chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fill the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Reality for me, Zack to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turn my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. What the heck? She looks at me. Eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and pouring into my soul. Like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum, low and indistinct. Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. Help me. I don't dare to move. My heart hammers against my ribs. Each beat, every thump, screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. Oh, Codis, help me, Codis is so horrible.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretching in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
Oh no, stop. Leave me alone.
Ugh. Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There is only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please, I don't want this.
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jots me out of the haze blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar, until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zack appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet, the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You were screaming. Zack, call someone.
No, don't. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zack, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I don't know. I attempt a smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Okay. After a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos received an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper, asking her to meet with the Wright's interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way, on one of the shops she passed by, a familiar smile greeted her. Blah. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity stifling, everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud! If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough! That's enough! A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it into pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gaunts at me. Knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me! The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish up my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions, where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Ash. Ash's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon?
Thank you so much for spamming my inbox, scaredy cat.
What?
Hey, Ash.
What's wrong?
I just had a long day. The couple who bought the house wanted us to finish processing the papers within the week. It's a little hectic, but we'll manage.
Really? You sold it?
Don't sound so surprised. I told you, you don't stand a chance. The rights won't take no for an answer. You've been on the losing end from the very start. Ha!
Whoever said I was interested in the house in the first place?
But you said...
Despite his light tone, his snicker only comes off as annoying to my ears. I have to fight the urge to end the call right then and there. Stupid Ash!
You're such an ass.
He's
And just so
not.
you know, I'm not treating you to a separate celebration. Or ever.
No, that's just unfair. And here I was looking something up for you. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to Andrew?
I pause. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble considering how much he scoffed at the whole topic in the first place.
Is he okay with that?
Totally. Besides, I need to ask him about something. I might as well do it soon. What do you say you come with me tomorrow morning?
Well, there's no harm in it, I suppose. I've got a free day anyway.
Great, I'll just pick you up. Don't oversleep.
Don't compare me to you. I'm not the one who sleeps like a rock.
But you still overslept. Another round of chuckles comes from him. Oh, I will live for the day he'll stop making fun of me. Just wait, you asshole! Oh, I'm sorry. As I'm about to end the call, he clears his throat.
And, Isabella?
His sudden, diffident tone sends my eyebrows shooting up into my hairline. Is the world ending today?
Yeah? Did you forget something?
Do you think we... Never mind. Good night.
Ah! I ship it. He hangs up instantly. Rude! Completely rude! I didn't even get to thank him. The busy tone, though, muffled echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I'm doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. Oh, journal update. Ashton Gray reminded Isabel Santos of their meeting with Professor Andrew Clark tomorrow, a respected professor with a doctorate degree in sociology. As a former researcher specializing in ethnography and psychology, Ashton assured that his friend can help with her worries regarding the mentioned rumors. I hope so. And for the first time in a long time, I dream of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. Oh, next day, okay. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's only of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 AM rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. His hair is a disheveled mess, eyes drowsy, and overall looking like I hurried to get out of bed. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way. But I'm not going to tell him that. I'd only bloat his unbearable ego.
Good morning, Ash.
He makes a motion with his fingers around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hands. A yawn and nothing more. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that I'm thankful to every god in the universe. Less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. He's just like me. I hate mornings too. I'm a night owl. Ha! There's the reason why mornings are my favorite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination, the small cafe situated in Luxembourg's busiest street, the same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. I've never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back at home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, Anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work. But still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward and then Ash suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead hard.
That hurts! What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up to him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude!
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite.
Oh.
He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one? Hey! Don't just ignore me.
No. All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to the chimney softly announced arrivals. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. Oh, it's the same coffee from yesterday, I thought so. Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of the customers have forgone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and began... But most of the customers have forgone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and beanbags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Oh. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window, where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
Ah,
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
no. The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face as the older man's admonishment. Oh. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has scolded him. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student and mentor. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats up beside him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time, but I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here. I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Oh, thanks. Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right, sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and, to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personable kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. I thought so too! Thank you, Isabella. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion, now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zack when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my
I'm
problems.
sure it's that letter I found, but I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anselm Village, aren't we?
He knows already. He knows already. But what's that about? We're going to find out in the next episode. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, click on the notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload my videos. Share us on Twitter and on Facebook. And guys, I will see you in the future or back in the letter. High five. I smacked my poor video camera. No, don't fall down, please.